Hello my loves, I'm Ellie Frost, and on this channel we're talking about the multi-dimensional approach to rapidly and radically healing and transforming during and after narcissistic abuse. And this video is about how the narcissist makes you betray your values, right? One of the most devastating parts of this cycle, though all of it can be pretty brutal, is that we lose ourselves. Yeah, and slowly over time we realize we've lost our sense of identity and we're not living in alignment with what's important to us, our values. Yeah, we're not in integrity with our desires and dreams and with our, what we want out of a relationship. Yeah, we've betrayed our values and we start basically betraying and abandoning ourselves, because it's easier to disassociate from ourselves than it is to feel the pain of constantly being eroded, right? So a lot of us go through disassociation, which is just like when we kind of abandon ourselves, just get by. If you're stonewalling and grey rocking, it's not a beautiful, authentic way to live. It's a way of treading water, right? To mitigate pain, mitigate damage, right? It's a good strategy, but we're not living in alignment with our authentic values and truth. And lots of us don't even think about, well, what are my values? Your values might be things like monogamy, right? But maybe the narcissist cheated. And so now you're living or in a relationship with someone who has betrayed that value and you're not living in alignment with your truth. All trauma starts from separation of self, when we separate from ourselves, right? So we want to get really clear on what our values are. They could be things like honesty, trust, open communication, willingness to grow together. You've got to think about what your values are and then look at your relationships and see if they line up. And if they don't, think about it. Because not living in alignment with our truth, our essence, with who we really are and what's important to us, and your values are basically what's important to you. So mine include things like adventure, spontaneity, fun, laughter. I love to have fun with people. I even have fun in my work, even though we're dealing with a serious topic here, we always find ways to have fun with each other when I work with people, because that's one of my values, is making things enjoyable rather than hard. This is a hard enough cycle to go through and break through, right? So we get to have some joy when we're doing it. My values are pleasure, joy, expansion, growth. For example, you've got to think about what they are to you and then look at this relationship, because a healthy relationship, right, happens when you've got shared vision for the relationship. You both want to go in the same direction and you've got shared values. If you don't have shared values, there's always going to be conflict in a relationship, right? So it's really important. We're not taught this at school, emotional intelligence, to actually take some time and think about what's most important to you. What are your top 5 values, for example? And then start having a look at your relationships and thinking about whether they add up, because we will always be traumatized if we are separating from self. So I teach something called self-partnering, which is partly about having our own back, but also not self-abandoning, standing for what we stand for, right? When we betray our values, right, we betray ourselves, and we never feel good about that. And in this cycle of narcissistic abuse, we get eroded over time. Like slowly, we're less and less of who we really are. We're not really standing in our power or in our truth of what we believe in. Yeah? You might believe, like I said earlier, in monogamy, but the narcissist may have cheated. And so therefore now you're kind of consenting energetically to that kind of relationship, because the narcissist will never change. Yeah? I value trust, but when I was in a relationship with a narcissist, there was no trust. I value loyalty, right? But there was no loyalty from my parents or and the other narcissists in my life. So think about what you value most. What qualities are important to you? Realize how much of yourself you have to lose in this cycle. How much of what's important to you, even your dreams and your desires, right? These are important things. Your dream relationship, your dream, what you want from interaction with other people. The narcissist makes us abandon ourselves in so many ways. Yeah? We're not being true to ourselves in this cycle. We're not being true to what we want and need. My definition of authenticity is being true to who we are and what we want and need. And in relationships, it's really important to communicate what we want and need from it. Yeah, but in the narcissistic abusive relationship, this relationship becomes all about them, all about the narcissist, all about what they want and need, and how we sort of limit the damage rather than expand into more of our desires and truths. If you want to do more of this work, do check out my program Sovereign. It's in the description. You will get a free 90-minute session with me whenever you choose to take it if you join by the end of September. Please keep liking, subscribing and sharing. Thank you so much for being here. Lots of love, and I'll speak to you soon.